And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Factorio. It is effectively day 3 of streaming the run. I got 35 different things left on the to-do list here. We may actually start to get the list to start shrinking at this point. Once we get splitters and electric miners going. We got the checklist. Remind me, go check aluminum. At this point, this might just really turn into check the fluid mining drills to pick their stuff up. The big thing I think holding us back from circuit boards and splitters at this point is actually getting the moon drops going, which means we're just short the moon drops. So factory-wise, this is the process to make formaldehyde. What I actually probably want is the process for direct production of the moon drops themselves. I don't really care about the production ratio here, I just want to know what the recipe is. So that is making moondrops from moondrops, the recipe. This is the one we need to do to get things started. 2 petri dishes, a planter box, a moondrop codex, and a bunch of water. Water is easy. For the moondrop codex, there's only one recipe. That's probably something we can craft by hand if we get the ingredients for it. Except maybe the tinned cable? No, we can do tinned cable by hand, so I just gotta get the stuff for it. Yeah, if I get all the stuff for that, we can handcraft that. We can go pick up planter boxes, not too worried about that. Petri dishes is a little bit special in that, okay, technically I can craft that from the agar and the petri dish, but agar we're gonna have to go down a chain for. That's one reason I've got this here. We're just standard boil recipe. There we go. So that's the process for agar. So I gotta get water into a boiler to turn seaweed and steam into agar. And then seaweed comes from the seaweed plant maker. Which is a moduled machine, so we're gonna have to go grab some manual seaweed to get that going, but and you can see the terrible ratios here. We're not gonna make 50 botanical nurseries to make 1 moondrop a second, because we can use moondrops to make moondrops, sort of thing. But yeah, so we're gonna need to get a seaweed crop facility going to turn seaweed into more seaweed, and then I'm gonna need to get an empty petri dish, which is in the glassworks. So I need a glassworks setup, I need a seaweed crop facility setup, and then we need to put the other stuff together. So for that, I need to go pick up copper. Because, yeah, we need to go work on that. So that's what I'm going to set up to do, is we're going to go first get the moondrops started. Once we get that started, I'm going to have to run around quite a bit to get some other stuff running, I believe. Mainly get science going again so that we aren't stuck for other things. You're waiting on limestone, you're waiting on being assigned to limestone. Okay. Which is now requiring water. Why is my water not connected? Because there's a single bit of pipe missing. Yeah, the big thing is going to be getting minerals. So let me go ahead and do that. I suppose this is where we're going to have the first skip of the edited version. Yeah, let's get our seaweed crop facility. And another glass foundry. Glass works. We'll get those running. Glassworks. Ooh, I need more tin and more limestone for the seaweed facility as well. Because I used it up apparently in the glassworks. No, I didn't. I'm not sure where that the missing ingredients went when I did that run quest, but I thought we were just short of copper. But we go grab the other stuff. We are making the other stuff in sort of artisanal quantities. Where's my limestone production? This way. Make it off of the steel assembly. Anyway, probably take a run around to all the plate production, all the fluid mining drill locations, and grab what's been made. But yeah, the initial iron is down to 4 miners at this point. Not much left to it. There's an argument I can go and steal that coal, probably to run the tin. Wait, what metal is this? Tin plate production, if I wanted to. Although that's actually got metal coming down already, so I'm not sure we're going to shove that coal to be productive. But there we go. Seaweed production underwrote. I'll grab another offshore pump. So the seaweed can be fed with its own water source. And then we'll go pull some seaweed and some fish out of the lake we start with. Get the seaweed maker going. The fish will get used for other recipes, so it's worth grabbing while we're here. We don't yet have fish breeding, though, so it'll be less productive. Although we are at some point going to want to automate stuff based off of fish breeding. Okay, we're not going to grab the seaweed out of the middle for the moment. And I don't have the offshore pumps yet. The offshore pump yet. I don't even think this technically needs power. Okay, we shove 10 seaweed in it. Oh, it does need power. How did I screw the power grid up? It needs power, and you're hooked up to power. Am I just like one tile off? Like one tile off. Yeah, one tile off. Okay. There we go. Given enough time, that will make all the seaweed we need for our early stuff here. Next stop is Petri dishes. And we might get a pop-up for the first seaweed being made. Let's see how far we get to the glass on the way. So what I'm about to be... There we go. There's the first seaweed. What I'm about to be doing might be beneficial to actually do the run. And grab... the car, because I'm going to go get up all the metal locations. Liquid pump locations. Okay. So given enough time and enough fuel, that should make all the petri dishes I need for the short run here, although I do arguably need more fuel. We're not making whatever I'm fueling this with enough. Where did I leave my car? Car's over there. As far as this, so what did I need? I needed a petri dish. I needed that, so we can make agar with a high-pressure furnace. Do I have what I need to build a high-pressure furnace? No, I'll have to go back to base for that. Yeah, we don't necessarily need very many petri dishes right now, because we're just sort of artisanally making the first couple moon drops. And moon production doesn't actually require, except for the first couple you make, don't actually require the petri dishes. Not hit my pipeline. Waiting on aromatics, okay. Oh, because I did the pipe. Pipe planning there. Okay. Back in the car, off to the next metal deposit. Smack into a giant rock. That's not what we wanted. Okay, so here is lead. Maybe an argument I should have come down with some coal to shove in. Well, actually, I've got some coal in the car, don't I? And then inventory, okay. Jumpstart the system here. Pick up the lead. Wrong enter key. Next stop, titanium, and then back to base. The car is running off without me. Which is actually a little bit of a problem, because I might want to have some more of the coal to jumpstart the system. Go. Yeah. Technically don't need the titanium for what I'm doing right now. We'll want the titanium for what we're going to do next. Which is actually setting the alloy smelter for the aluminum production. So I need to pick up enough that I can do a high-pressure furnace to make agar. And then everything else I should just be able to run around and grab the ingredients for to craft. And then we can probably temporarily shove it in EU. You're going to temporarily be swapped to the Moondrop producer. Yeah, it won't be too hard to swap people more. I think so. And then for agar production, I only really need, I think it's seaweed and steam, right? Once that's done, I can find somewhere near the steam line. The temporary but potentially quite very permanent agar producer. Go, agar comes out. And I only need one per petri dish, and how many do you need per codex? Two. So not that hard. And there's the codex. Okay, so I need to pick up more copper. I just need to pick up more copper, but then I got everything I need for the Moondrop Codex. And it'll be terribly slow to start with 2. I can work with like 2. That's what I need a second one of that, please. Don't have a lot of tar, otherwise I could probably redirect tar over to it as well. You know, that's actually what I will temporarily do. We'll run the consumers off of tar, and we'll run the product off of gas. Oh, we actually got enough gas stored up, but those guys are going to run for a bit. It is. Yeah, I suppose what I probably want is I want like... Oh, that's actually 4. For one codex, we get 4 of these. Which, yeah, probably is enough to get started if I have like 1 or 2 recipes of that. I got 6 planter boxes on me. Really, I'm just looking for the Moondrop codexes themselves and the petri dishes. And that air cooler conductor is glass tin cable. We have most of, so that should be quick to get going. Run back to base. I'm not too worried about this taking a little bit of time. I'm a little bit worried that we don't see a continual line of iron. I might need to check the furnaces over back to the iron maker. Okay, let's get some codexes going while I'm doing the run. Or the drive, or however I end up getting over there. If I want to use all 6 planter boxes, I need 6 Moondrop codexes. For 6 Moondrop codexes, I am pretty much just short the copper. There we go. Got 6 planter boxes, got 6 codexes. We'll need 12 pieces of agar and 12 petri dishes. And then I can pretty much just throw everything in to the nursery and get our starting Moondrops out. Now, to go investigate why it doesn't seem like we're getting more iron coming in. I suspect it might be something like I haven't planned for ash. So the ash on this line may have backed up. 1,000 stacks, or the stack size is 1,000, so that's quite a bit of ash, but it may have happened. Looks like no ore. Why am I getting no ore? That makes sense, because you're out. That's fair. Because you're full of ash. Okay. To be fair, that was the concern. I was expecting it was going to be the problem. We're going to have a problem. Meantime, let's check up potentially on what a problem over here might be. See if we can get the gas flowing a little bit better. Looks like you're having flow rate issues on your carbon fuel, which actually kind of makes sense. Again, it's ash handling. Apparently, it's being the issue. So what I need to do is I need to set up a proper sorting facility down here. Yeah, that should increase the throughput to you. To get us more petri dishes. Okay, for the sorting facility, I'm going to need, well, a bunch of copper, a bunch of iron, because I'm going to need solid separators. Well, that's a good question on the solid separators. Let me go look at the existing one I've got. I want to figure out what the ratio is. I know it's one belt of ash feeds into 2 solid separators. To operate at ideal efficiency. I guess 2 of them basically consume 20. Yeah, the number isn't quite right there, but close enough. And let's say I want 0.2 iron a second from a soot separator. Hang on for a second. Okay, so it's about 10 of these to 1 of those. So if I can make 11, I can probably process about 5 belts worth of ash. Technically 5 belts is 75, so it'll be, because the belts don't quite ratio right, it's a little overkill, but it's fine. So make like 11 of these. At the same time, I am seeing that we're having problems with power. Oh, inventory is full. Of course, I don't have enough iron to me. Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, I gotta work around for that. It's also a lot of steel. Grab steel. No, or at least grab what we got. Oh, you're coke limited. Why are you coke limited? Because I'm not using my coal gas enough. Okay. Something a little bit out of space. These do take up a lot of iron, which is a lot of space in the inventory. Get some chests so I can put some storage down. Because I also don't have enough copper. I'm not enough copper. Yeah, it's the copper that was the issue. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not far off from iron being the issue as well. This is one reason we want to swap over to bus-style production. So we're spending less time picking stuff like this up. And there we go. So that should be enough to start the processing for the ash down there. And we can see just how long this handcrafting chain I've sort of set myself for is. Yeah, got enough petri dishes. I'm just short the... or enough agar jelly. I'm just waiting on the petri dishes. And you're still waiting on coal gas. Try not to run into my power poles. The other ones will be coming probably from down here. Technically I have... What, is that 4 belts of coal? Well, four belts of ash? No, it's 5 belts of ash. 5 belts of ash there. So that may be overkill as is. Yeah, let's assume it's overkill as is. Okay, so I actually want to do something that looks more like that. Okay. And then I need one soot or filtration unit, like so. And then that will take about 5 belts in and turn it into soot and ash. Well, process the soot and ash into usable stuff. Oops, those want to be in our blueprint vault, not in my inventory. And in the meantime, we've got to wait for the solid separation to actually build. And I'll go pick up some inserters and bolt in the meantime. Anyway, we've got petri dishes, and I don't have the codexes. So let's run over to our nursery and get the first batch under construction. And I want belts and inserters. It might actually be faster to, or more efficient to hang around and wait until that moondrop recipe is done, because I gotta wait till the solid separators are assembled anyway. A 200 seconds of craft time there. I dread to think how long it's going to take to assemble solid separator from individual parts by hand. Yeah, that could easily be 200 seconds. 5 of them is probably easily 200 seconds. I suppose I can do some mental math theory crafting while we're waiting for this to happen. I am going to want a belt worth of native flora. Which is 15 floral collectors. Okay. So at some point I want to get a bunch of those in the handcrafting queue as well. I'm gonna have to grab some more copper to make the number I want. Yeah, I think that's a sign I need more copper. And we're back to needing iron. Although I think 5 is a good enough starting spot for the moat. Let's, realizing one of my... Oh, there's our first moondrop. Not the moondrops from moondrops, so that's the first moondrop from Codex. Let's go grab that and get that making moondrops for us. I might have over preparing for making them by effectively nursery rather than the self-reproduction. But producing them the other way is also fairly slow. Oh, I need to get sap going as well. So you need 4 seeds. 4 seeds comes from this recipe. Oh, I actually need 5 drops to get going. Fair enough. And yeah, that'll be a glacially slow recipe with only one module in. It's 140 with all the modules in. Got one. So. Not quite ready to start on that, but starting to tee it up and think about what we need. For sap trees, what do we need for sap trees? Sap becomes sap seed, okay. And I'm not allowed to craft that by hand. I have to go shove that in a machine for it. Okay. And then the saplings, sap trees themselves, is also fairly easy. It's just a couple planter bosses and a bunch of seeds. Okay. So 5 becomes 2. 5 becomes 1. I think I only need like 4 though. Yeah. So I need 20 seeds. 20 seeds is 100 sap. Definitely going to swap you over to seed production. And in goes 100. Get enough time, that'll make us the seeds we need. Get back to backing up this furnace stack. That's actually an empty stack as well. Recycle that stack. You're not running it because of coke. Coke's not running because I don't have enough coal gas. So really what I need to be doing is... And that's not running because I'm not using enough... Not using enough of my aluminum. The aluminum's not running. That's why that's not running. Although, depending on what we're about to do, that may change in the near future. Okay, I should get a little bit of motion on there. Okay, all the seeds are done. Oh, that was fewer... Oh, but that's the number of seeds I need, right? Because I want to make 4 of these. Oh, I actually made enough for 8 of these, which is more than 8. More seeds than I need. Go grab some more planter boxes. Okay, we've got the Petri dishes in the handcraft queue after our solid separators, which maybe isn't the best place for it, but it's, I don't have the mods to rearrange the queue, so the queue is where the queue is. I technically want 2 more was the plan, I think. Let me go grab another 2 Petri dishes. I'm gonna hope that they've been made in the meantime. They may not have. There's our first sap tree. Again, not by sap trees making sap trees, but from Codexes. Let's make them all into 2 dishes. Use up all the rest of the agar. Done. It's working on number 2. Wait until number 2 is done, and we'll go install the first 2. Ah, I need to plumb creosote in at some point, which we've got. I just gotta run it over from the very far refinery facility. It's a bit of a run. Don't think 50 underground pipe to grounds are going to be enough, but we'll get started with it. Probably need a pump at some point, if not 2. Stuff we need for the pump before we leave the base. First sap produced. We're not obviously sitting there staring at it. That is made by our sap farm. Sap farm's technically running at half speed, but that's better than nothing. Anyway, we're installing this because this will guarantee that we've got enough cash consumption to support the mine down here. Basically running in perpetuity. So we won't have to come down and check on it quite so much to keep it running. There's maybe an argument I should double check how many inserters I need. I'm probably got the inserter balance wrong. Probably don't need as much taking out of the sorter as I do in inputting to it, but nope, I have a missing belt. Missing belt. Belt doesn't work without the missing piece. Here we go. And I've got no coal on a line. Why do I have no coal on the line? So that's our input. Let's backtrace the coal problem. This is no coal in that belt. Yep, that would do it. That would do it. Probably an error to right mouse or R at some point. When an R like that just screws the belt up. I can check through the ratio here. It's 10 in, and probably 1 out, honestly. Yeah, probably like 1 out a second. So I can save some servers. I've over-designed this. Over-designed this by a lot. Oops. That's probably the ones I want to leave in. Maximize the buffer space. There we go. And yeah, you probably... What, so it's 20%, 20%, 30%. So it's about 2 to 1 recipe here. So really I only need, let's say 4 in, 1 out, or 4 in, 2 out. But yeah, in this case I've actually got a buffer system. That's why I've got so many inputs. So in theory I can get away with something that's like that. 4 in is probably more than enough. All I'm missing is the power poles. Practice. And then obviously I'll have to do something with the coal dust and ore and such, but that's pretty easy to deal with, especially because this is all compressive, or in most cases reducing what we're having here. So let's get back to base. We can get the sap trees should probably be done growing at this point. So I can get them installed. Oh, I remember what was going to be down here. Yeah, we'll stop back at base anyway. I was also down there to run the VSO line. But I'm probably going to need more than 50 underground belts, or underground pipe for that, so let's grab some more pipe while we're back here. See the Petri dishes. Although, getting that system running before we've got the creosote hooked up is maybe not particularly beneficial, because that immediately goes into the process that requires creosote. So the creosote isn't being delivered, doesn't do very much. to be installing pipelines, not accidentally breaking them. Okay, so where do I pull the creosote from? We're already producing it, I just need to figure out where I want to pluck it from. Plucking it from the big giant tailings pond is probably the way to go. There we go, at only 11k in that creosote pond, or in the tailings pond. Could continue just to run off the end here, which is probably what we'll do. That's where the pump should be. See if any other pump complaints. So get us closer to where we're going. Shredded trees. Run over here and grab more pipe to ground. Hope we can get the complaint about the network being too large, even if I don't have fluid running through it. When the network is too large, I know how to put another pump in. Almost there with creosote. Probably gonna need at least one, if not two pumps. We've got one in the queue. We're gonna last of those solid separators. And I will need to run actual copper over there. Might even want to run the iron line. Spaghetti iron line over there. Oh, yeah, it does warn me when we go too far. Good to know. That's where the next pump wants to be. That's where the creosote goes in to turn wood into treated wood. Treated wood gets treated with formaldehyde to become formica. Formica gets made into printed circuit boards. Printed circuit boards get made into circuits. It's definitely a couple metal we're gonna have to run around and get more of. In here. Get you running again. I need a few more to do the full processing, but got it queued up. Back to grounds. I need some copper and iron to make hand-make pumps. I get back to finishing up working on over the iron mine. Continue the spaghetti. Okay, copper is top, iron is bottom, yes. Need a lot more copper than I need iron. There's the first copper. Second one is there. Oh, that's going to be a little fiddly to get to. third and fourth up there. There we go. As I said, gonna be a little fiddly to get there, but I had no fear that I would be able to get there. It was all about how fiddly is it gonna be. Okay, so that's the copper fed in. Theory. At some point, the only way to know if this thing actually works is to get it running. Get it properly and truly running. We just need saline water. Saline water just needs gravel. Gravel just needs stone. Stone needs to be attached. Works better if you attach the thing. I've got an input for it, but I haven't attached the any feed to the input. Oh, I'm out of grounds. That's gonna make that fiddly. Oops. Around the top? Yeah, let's go around the top of this one. Or you might save me a few undergrounds. Oh, that needs copper. Okay, so as soon as I have undergrounds, that'll work. Yeah, I've got enough moon drops to start having the moon drops make moon drops. The way we do that is we throw enough in there to start you. And as we can in there to get you running. There goes our first batch of seeds. And then that will produce 4 moon drops, which is actually 1 short from what you need to get started. So I'll have to manually go throw a moon drop in here to get the next production cycle going. And we need more power. More power is really easy. It's just more steam generators on the existing power. Or more boilers on the existing power. Because I overproduced steam intentionally. Although, at some point I'll do a slightly bigger, larger design that'll do it even better. But okay, as soon as that's done, these petri dishes will build real fast. And we'll go shove them in here to get this running. The last couple recipes. Well, the last recipe. I need 2 more in here for the last recipe, specifically. There we go. That'll consume all the Moondrop codexes and all the petri dishes, and then we'll be happy. Or I'll be happy. You might not be happy. I cannot tell you how you feel. Only you can do that. Okay, we arrived, so toss in the separators to get them out of our inventory. Start plumbing these in. And then we worked out I only need 2 on each of these outports. So now we're properly sorting the soot we're making. Yeah, close enough. So you're powered. Got a redundant power line in there, so or disassembling it later, it doesn't completely turn off. And then right now these are taking in 15, spitting out on the south line. Well, for every 10, spitting out 5.5 or 0.55 per second. So 13 in is still only going to produce 1.5, so we can run them all on a single belt. I'm thinking about how I want to deal with the ash. You know what, for the moment, let's not deal with the ash. A little lazy, we're just not going to deal with this ash. Okay, if I do that, then I could just put the ash back on the belt we're taking it off of. Not necessarily super optimal, but it should work. And then I can feed the excess back around, or the ash back around, right? Actually works out pretty well, because otherwise that's a half melt anyway. Cool. And then I just need to figure out what I'm doing with the coal coal ash I need to get rid of. Honestly, that probably just needs to go to a boiler network to consume it. Okay, this is not going to be properly balanced, but it'll work. Which is sometimes all that you need. Did need more power, so we're going to find some power over here. I just need to get the water over there, which shouldn't be too hard. Which I suppose in some ways is famous last words. Shouldn't be that hard. One eternity later. There we go. So that does something with the coal dust. Then gets that processed from our soot production so that the iron oxide can get melted to turn into iron. And yeah, I'm not feeding these furnaces, the boilers fast enough. But really, we just want to be moving the coal dust. I'm not too worried about it. Okay. So let me go follow the creosote line. I think we have the pumps that I can get that properly working now. With some manual coaxing. I think we can finally get our first couple circuit boards short for the next pump. I'll take the detour and grab the pump in. Just more iron. Also a little bit of aluminum, which is good because I need to use some of that up. Pump isn't made yet. Now we'll grab more iron to make some more undergrounds. I'm short some of those as well. Almost on pump number 1. There we go. Good way of moving. Swap you back to trees for the moment. Because I've got enough moon drops, hopefully. Hopefully got enough moon drops. Need to probably get that system running. Jumpstart that system after all would be nice. How many seeds do you need? You need 4. Okay, so this is going to be overkill from an intake standpoint. I'm going to put 4 on each of these. So if they need more, they can just grab the first 4 that come rolling by pretty reliably. And that should be enough to start this system running. Is an argument. So I'm going to take the outputs out for the moment, but I want to grab the product to shove them in. With control. What gets shipped? Get rid of the seeds. Speed them up. The process is self-reinforcing, but it's going to be slow to get started. Go check up the stone. I feel like one of the undergrounds is missing. Yeah, one of them is missing. Just one. It's not too bad. I think 2 of them are missing. Although that might be a long enough, or a short enough jump I can just do it with 1. Yeah. Okay, I would like to make another 9 floor collectors, maybe even 10. Let's go collect the iron that we need for that. It's mostly iron and copper, right? Yeah, iron and copper, we got plenty of stone inventory. There we go. That should be enough that I can get a full belt of native flora coming back when I go set that mine up, which is something I should probably set up fairly soon. And there's the native flora I think I'm going to extract it next. Okay, let me start running the power poles over for the native flora collector. Probably don't have enough, but we'll find out. Yeah, don't have enough. So for the belt here, it's going to be 8 each side. Technically it's 7.5, but a half, you can't put half a collector down. Okay, so that would be 8. Or that'd be the full 16. Obviously we need power poles to make it work. You're a little hard to see. If I were to make a critique. Yeah, don't think I have enough belt to get this all the way back to base, but I can at least run the belt, go grab more. And we're waiting for them to be built and waiting for the power poles. Oh, I suppose it depends on how you scrub the base. Don't have to get to the base. Not to get to the right place in the base, but get to the base, yes. Apparently. Oh, I'm missing... Oh, I'm missing a corner. Of course I am, and I'm missing an underground. There's the underground. I can go make a corner. Make one for a corner. Here we go. And again, we make 4 moon drops every 140 seconds, so this is slow. Very slow. Oh, this is a roughly ratio in a recipe, so it'll work once it's started. Oh, it also doesn't help when we're running low on power. The long-term solution to that is just more steam engines. As we get the floor collectors installed and go increase power production. You got 2 more, you've got 4 more to go. Anyway, we'll get tech going again. Tech is, well, it's been stopped for the entire stream here because we've actually run, well, I haven't exactly run out. It's under the exterior of the coal mine at this point. It's a little bit of native flora left in the base, but basically run out of native flora in the initial deposit. That's why we're getting the secondary deposit, which when fully set up will be 16 times bigger than the first one, so... soon have science flowing again. It's just going to be a little while before I can do anything super productive. This is why we need to get the the bus wall set up eventually, but really I want to wait until we get electronic mining drills to do that, because it'll be so much better with electronic mining drills to feed the thing. Waiting. Hopefully the inventory won't explode if we do this, so we're gonna, well, effectively cancel those 5 so I can add them into queue later. And then we'll follow that up with 8 boilers. 8 boilers won't be too bad. So we can get some more power moving. I can believe these again. Get the boiler sooner. Interesting. Why don't I have the ability to build the boilers? Or build the mana collectors? Interesting. We'll work with that, that'll be fine. So I'm only making 5 boilers, but I'm able to move the thing in the queue. More boilers means more power, which means things should work better. Both of those running. Looks like for 3 more cycles. We'll come back and check on them in 3. Well, we'll come back and check on them when we sort out the power a little bit more. The native flora is arriving, which will resume power, or will resume science, which is why we need more power, because obviously that's going to consume more power. Go, 5 more boilers worth of power, which effectively double the power consumption or power production. So if consumption goes up, we should be fine. It's in the short term. Sort of a fine balancing act here between I want to redirect moondrops to getting this facility running to needing to make the seeds to run the research actual production. There's another 4. What we'll do is put the out on you. Because if I get to the point where this one's outputting, it can just output on the build. I'm not worried about it going around in circles. That's another 4. So like there, so I have 5 to run this recipe so I can get more seeds. This does take 5 moondrops in. We get for every seed, or we're taking 5 moondrops in, spitting 2 out and 7 seeds minimum. It's 1 seed to 1 moondrop, so we are net positive on that recipe. We just then have to turn the seeds back into moondrop, which requires moondrop as the module. What's really going on there? There's the output too. At some point we will need them for this side. The moondrops themselves. Oh, this side only consumes seeds. So we want to get spooled up quickly enough that we're making seeds at a rate where we're not worried about consuming them to make the methane. At the same time, I'm handcrafting floor collectors in proverbial pocket. Don't need the floor collectors quite so bad. Because we're overproducing at the moment in flora. And we're coming up on the next tech done. Oh, grab those. So the tech we just finished was the biotechnology machine. So at some point we'll want creature chambers and reproductive complexes on Arcbus. And then tech-wise, we're working down to there. Missing something? Oh, missing latex in the queue. So we can add Lex-Tex. Next is SciPack 1. Add to the queue. There we go, so that should be working. Take all of them. I want to take only one of them. Slap you in there to get another round of that coming out. Got high rolling up 3. Goes in you. You. the seed production. With a couple more cycles of getting more seeds out, and I think we'll have enough moondrop at that point. But I can sort of set it running for a bit, just making moondrops and moondrop seeds. And then we can come back and start up the greenhouses, making methane. That's good. That one. 5 more to go. Help you running full speed. So you've got seeds, you've got seeds, you've got plenty of seeds. Enough to get you running. With that, we're gonna plop, plop, plop. And I should be able to leave it alone, and it will just use the seeds it has to make moondrops, which it will consume to make more seeds, and we'll let the system spool up a little bit. Then we can come back and grab some of the surplus moondrops to get these running. If things go according to plan. So let me go find my car, and we'll do a round of the fluid mining drills. There's an argument to be making more fluid mining drills as well. Yeah, let me get some handcrafting going for the fluid mining drills. Got how much steel? I got plenty of steel. Big thing there is raw, extreme amounts of raw iron, raw metal. I might not have enough copper production at this point, honestly. Might be something else I need to expand. It would be best if I could make it until we've got electric drills. But I might have to expand it before then. Suppose I could use coal for these two drills. Drill arrays, so we'll actually take this line out that way. For that reason. Gonna take the car, but if I'm running belt, we'll go on foot. This is one reason it would be nice to have electric drills, because then I don't have to butt coal out from existing coal mines. Oops. Need 2 spaces. And that's that arrangement. Oh, I forget which side the coal's going on. That's a good question. And of course, I'm way too far away to double check. Well, You know, for the moment, it doesn't really matter. Building technology done. That was basic substrate, which is microcosm mine. The to-do list gets bigger, not smaller. Oh, that side needs to be one. If the ghosts over one. So. To be fair, I don't have enough assembly for this, so this is overkill. Grab the lead, start running back. Okay, so the coal is arriving, so I can know which way I need to send something. So I need ash on the outside. Ash on the outside. So then we're coming out that way. Oops. So ash on the outside. And then we're going to come back the other way. So ash outside. When you're holding shift control and hitting a button such as rotate, it brings up a different menu. Brings up a different menu. Okay. The good news is that's simple enough that now the mining drills here will never need never need me to make fuel. Two that we got set up here. The miners, on the other hand, will, but we can just give them all the coal they want, and they'll never run out. Or I hopefully come back and upgrade this situation. Research is going. We're going to have some titanium on the way out. We'll kind of do the same thing with the titanium once I have splitters, because what I'll do is I'll split the coal line. And then you need more fuel, and I know where I can get fuel. We'll just grab it from the fuel line here. There's a fuel line here. Should be more than enough fuel. Get the titanium mine going. Okay. Let's see how the moondrops are going. And we'll go check out on the other metals need for the circuit boards. And that's looking a lot better. We got reliable seeds running around. Which actually means these have seeds. All they need is their moondrops to get running. Okay, there is the first bit of methane being produced. Methane is a little bit faster than making more moondrops, at least. There we go. Methane in the system. Means you have... well, you don't have enough methane. You've only got 40. Need another recipe worth to get going, but you're running. Which is more than nothing. Now you're running at full speed, which is a lot better. First Formica! 18 hours and 6 minutes. Why is my vacuum? Oh, my vacuum's missing one pipe. And our first printed circuit board. I just need another 19 of those, and I can make the chip shooter to make our first circuit board. Okay, we'll come back to that. What are you struggling with? I'm not using the coal gas quickly enough because I'm not using the aluminum fast enough, honestly. That's probably what's going on. have oh, you're full on ash because I'm not processing ash. That's what's going on. Do I have advanced the Factorio electric furnaces already? That's a good question. Yes, I do have advanced foundry. Okay. Oh, you're jammed up because I have the same problem I have up north where I'm not using the coal dust. Do I just plumb you up north? Yeah, let's just plumb you up north. I'm out of undergrounds. I haven't remedied that yet. I should have remedied that when I was back in base. I was also coming down here to grab the fluid mining drill product, so let's go grab that before I run all the way back to base. I really get 4 pieces, like, oh dear. I apparently need more aromatics. And the coral processing presumably is going to need to get expanded. Anyway, we're not making enough coal dust to really run that, so we're just doing that as a way to get rid of the extra coal dust. I have enough power for now. My technology will be done in a minute. So we need more belts, so we grab belts. I also need more underground, so we grab a bunch of iron. Because turning belts into underground is mostly an iron task. Algae biotechnology stage 1. Which means I want to add incubators to my to-do list. And thus incubator. and then on to the end of the queue. Science Pack 1. And the thing we're really trying to run rapidly towards, electric mining drills. Specifically, electric mining drills, less so the fluid ones. But then this means I don't need to belt coal out to every iron, copper, coal mine, stone mine on the map, which is super useful. Because I've already got to get fluids out there. What's a coal belt, right? But if you don't need to run anything but power poles out someplace, and you just get the product coming back in, that'd be nice and useful. Yeah, we got methane flowing. Probably not flowing at the rate that I need it to run this at full speed, but I don't need to run it at full speed, I suppose. Got 12 of the 20 we need. Short break here. While our crafting queue goes, I will be right back. back, and it's still haven't worked through the queue. This is why I want to get to a bus at some point. A bus mall, so I can just arrive and be like, I want X, and it'll be there waiting for me, instead of like handcrafting for literal half an hour or so. Okay, let's get more pipe. I suppose that's actually something that's going in the crafting recipe, right? The pipe's going in the crafting recipe, so if I had it, it'd go faster. And I don't think we haven't completed anything else, taking that short break. Yeah, some minor indication I might need to get more copper going. Copper mine is getting a little empty. Where's the most convenient copper? West or east? Okay. East makes the most sense if I gotta run coal from the base. Yeah. Go check on the moon drop. Oh, I need to grab more iron for that. It's not going to be long, we're going to have the circuit boards. All we need is the 20 circuit boards. Got 16. We're waiting on Formica. Formica is waiting on graphic speed, honestly. Oh, actually, wait here now. Sap. So I read a little bit of it. Right, sap I got in the inventory. Soon it will be running. Yeah, this is one of the places where we're going to need to do, or I'm going to need to do a splitter at some point. So I can prioritize the injection of Moondrop so that we don't jam the seed maker. So the seed maker is always able to make seed. Because if We have surplus moondrop coming off of these. We just want them to stay in the machine. Is the best way to think about that. Although I think I'm at the point where I'm making enough methane, I just don't need more methane. I'm going to continue to futz with that to make it go a little faster. 18. Waiting on Formica, which is waiting on sap, which is waiting on sap to do sap. Drop down some trees in the meantime to collect some more sap. Clearing this forest out of the way allows us to have this space available for later building, so it's not a complete waste of time. I'm waiting for the handcraft queue to finish anyway. Want those underground belts for things. Yeah, you don't make a lot of sap from just chopping random trees down after all. Well, we make enough that it's a non-zero change on our crafting rate. So the sap goes in you. Go. So you need 1 Formica, and you need 2 Formica. Okay. Then look at this, the 19th board, and I need a 20th. So I am 12 sap short. So, just finish up xenobiology, which adds data array, the data array. So, to-do list, add bus data array. It might not be something that we actually really need to bus level production of, but I'll add it to the queue. And yeah, electric mine drills. Honestly, as far as this queue is concerned, the electric mine drills is where it ends. Probably don't necessarily need stuff beyond there. And until we start implementing it, right? I might actually want some stuff beyond there, but post-implementation of the electric controls. There we go. Making the last bit of Formica to make the 20th board. The 20th board allows me to start making my chip shooter. And then we will finally get to see if the spaghettis. Yeah, that's gonna take a while to build. Take a while to hand build. Definitely at the point where the copper mine is very slowly dying. Honestly, the moment the next drill dies, I'm better off redirecting everything to the same furnace stack, and just some of the old one. Or the surplus one. Because I think we have enough to run, like... I don't even think we necessarily have enough to run one furnace stack, honestly. Yeah, that copper mine is dying. It'll soon be time to move on to the next mine. Much like we did with iron. Already moved on to the second iron mine. The first one is not empty, but it's approaching the point where I might just at some point give up on it making iron and swap it to full steel production. I'm gonna have to rework how I fuel the glass makers at some point. Because we're not using enough coal gas in one of our coal gas systems, but we're using too much in the other one. So I need to rework how I am feeding that system. Technically, this is a system of 8 full belt, and we're only fitting in half a belt, so it's underfit there. Although if it's working, it's working. Yeah, could probably do more settling. I have a power shortage. Why do I have a power shortage? Because I'm somehow pulling more than my 10 steam engines are outputting. Okay, that makes sense for these two at least, because these two aren't running enough coal, but... Did I finish attack and didn't notice? No, no, we're still working on land animals. Oh, I've screwed up and we've got Kerrigan on the stone line again. I'm gonna have to go fix that problem properly at some point. So those actually the splitters will do that perfectly. Yeah, we've got more methane than I'm actually using. Production, but that's probably a good place to be. Because I'm scaling this off the sushi belt for it to work reliably, not on the actual pull of the spaghetti system I've got running there. Almost there. Almost about to have our chip shooter. Chip shooter built. And the simple circuit board production line loading. Oh, you're the wrong way around. And there we go. 18 hours, 38 minutes. We got our first simple circuit board. This is time for a small bit of build recap. This is the spaghetti that builds simple circuit boards. It's basically every step in the process of making simple circuit boards. We've got like one, except for things where we're growing things. One machine that does it. So this is no way balanced, but the spaghetti works. We're over making the methane. We're making way too much methane at the moment. But yeah, system is working. We are, in theory, making circuit boards. Not particularly fast, but we're making them. In fact, I now have 6 circuit boards So with that, I'm going to immediately make 6 splitters. 18 hours, 39 minutes in, we have splitters. Now we can fix things. We can fix some things. One of which is I'm going to come promptly over here, and I am going to future-proof this system. This system is so much more future-proof. That way, this can't back up on moondrops. So if this is making moondrops, that is prioritized to get put on the belt, on the half belt that's the moondrops. Comes down here, and when it goes past things making moondrops, these want to put moondrops in the belt, and there's no space in the belt, they can't. Whereas if there's no space in the belt, these can, and the belt won't move. This is a net consumer of moondrops, so there should always be space if this makes moondrops to put those moondrops on the belt. But they need to go on the belt, otherwise this will back up and won't work. So that splitter has, for professional means, has future-proofed that system. That system should no longer break. It's not running at full speed, but I don't need that level of methane either, so the spaghetti can be fine as it is. So yeah, I got 5 splitters. I suppose the next thing, and this will be an after dinner thing, we're gonna finish working our way to Psi Pack 1. We're gonna research through an even more spaghetti method than what we're doing for simple circuit boards. We're gonna basically hand feed spaghetti enough Psi Pack 1 to get ourselves electric mining drills, and then we're gonna mine. And we're gonna use that mining to start building the bus. And that bus will help us build bigger, better, faster, over and over and over again, sort of going forward. So that's the plan. We don't need gun turrets until we're up into later bits. Same thing with walls. If I can resist running into things, I don't need walls to protect them. There's a couple things in here we'll probably research just to have when we're done with electric mining drills that are all Psi Pack 1, or not Psi Pack 1, all automation packs. We'll basically finish the automation packs up when we're done with electric mining drills. But yeah. This is the short-term build review. I think this is where, again, I'm going to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, in the unedited version, this is where this part's probably about to end. I hope you have best of luck and good time until you watch the next part. If you're watching the edited version, there's probably going to be jump cut, and you're going to be on to the post-dinner portion. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a break here, basically for dinner. We've been playing for 3 hours. I'm going to play for about 3 to 4 hours after dinner as well, and then we'll bring it to a close. I'm hoping we can get to electric mining drills. I might not be able to implement any electric mining drills. It might take me 3 to 4 hours to get my first electric mining drill, but that's where we're headed next. And yeah, some of the stuff we're going to do along the way is probably get copper going and stuff like that. But I'm going to evaluate what we need tech-wise. Tech-wise and building-wise to get Psi Pack 1. So with that, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream. And bye for now.